So today we are going to be speaking about indicators and how we can use them to trade. So directly, um, if I picked like almost four indicators. The last section we had last Friday, we spoke just a little bit about volume and how it can be used on our trade. So volume also is part of the indicator that I picked that we are going to talk about today and how we can benefit from it and how we can use to indicate trend in our charts. So today we may mainly focusing on the MACD, which is the moving average convergence divergence, and also the normal moving average. And then we'll also be talking a little bit about Bollinger Bands and the RSI, which are really good indicators in the market that we can use to trade. So here today we'll be using the RoyalQ platform, picking any coin here. I would suggest also from their house, if anybody can give me a suggestion in the chat box, which coin or which pair you would like us to use to first start the first indicator that we'll be treating, or we'll just you can also tell me in the chat box if you would like us to just pick one coin, then all the indicators that I just mentioned will apply it to all of it, and then the one that will be our main focus this evening will be our MACD and how we can set our MACD to place trade. So there's a system, right, which our leaders in the house, leader OBM himself and other leaders in the house has recommended, and other leaders in the business also have seen that they have seen that is working. And like leader Ocean also, leader George, and other big leaders in the house have seen that these indicators that are really working great. And we want to apply them to our trade so as to make sure we have a better trade and better execution in the market. So we have upper hand. So in the chat box, just tell me which coin you would prefer us to like talk about or pick. I mean, sorry to say, um, for our first. So in the chat box, quickly tell me which coin you would prefer us to start with. If not, I'll just pick randomly. Or if you like, you just. Can everyone hear me?
Yes, very well. I hear you.
All right, I'll just pick any random pair then.
So nobody have any coin that's you're suggesting?
Yeah, so here I have Avi. So I have Avi here, and we can see that the current price of Avi is 174. And then the only indicators that I have here on is the volume. So the volume here, we can see right on our volume here, right from the volume tab here, we can see that we have this is our volume that I just indicated with the blue marker. And on top of this volume, which is here, we can see there is an MA on it, which is the moving average. So the moving average works in a way that the yellow line here, there are two, from here, it's not handy, right, to like manipulate the data of these indicators because this platform has the those indicators integrated in it, but it doesn't have like the functionality of you being able to like manipulate the data as in it and all of it. But from our advanced settings, though, there are ways that you can manipulate most of the settings that are like default and that can work really well with our trades. So we'll get to that, but here we are talking about volume. And what does volume do? What does it tell us, and what data does it tell us in the market? It tells us how much cash flow is going into an asset. In this case, we have Ave. So the if there is an outflow or there's an inflow in an asset, this indicates it to us. So from here, we can see that the red candlestick that's beneath, which is around here, that will be indicating with this marker here. Let me pick the bigger marker and then clean this a little bit. And then I pick, you can see from here that the red ones here is indicating the outflow. So if the market is bearish, it's indicating that the sellers are really aggressive. They are selling low. So they are selling really, and then there is a lot of outflow of cash in the market, which means they are selling and pulling out a little bit of funds. And if they are pumping money into the market as well, it indicates red. And then there is a moving average that is really measuring within the days or within is it if it's a daily chart, it's indicating this movement in a day, in 24 hours. If it's in 1 hour, which is here, is actually indicating it down here. So we also have the time frame also listed among here, so we can choose from it. So in this case, it's 1 hour. So it's indicating how much flows of cash is going into that asset. So this is volume. So you can easily know, okay, if it's going if it's increasing and it's going up, and uh, we have um we have the volume here, which is around 15K, right? My screen is really small because I'm using my phone. But from here, you can see here that is with the purple color, that is 15.8K as at that time with the volume, which is like the amount of money that is going into the asset. So here we have the MA, which the 5 days MA, which I'll claim so I can indicate for so see what I'm talking about clearly. So we have the MA 5 days moving average, which is calculating the average price of an asset. In this case, AVE, the average price has been in the last 5 days. So it's generating all those data and it's giving us an overview of the amount of money that has been going into it averagely, right, in the past 5 days, right? So and this is from Binance, right? Because we are getting data from Binance, right? Um, and this is for volume. So the MA is measuring the moving average, the average volume that has been that AVE has been doing on this platform, which is Binance, because I'm using Binance right now. So and then it's also measuring the 10-day moving average as well. So these are the two. But if it was from our normal chart, which is from that is not the RoyalQ one, maybe from trading view, you can manipulate those data by putting maybe 10-day moving average, uh, volume moving averages, or 20 days or 50 days, so you can have a better view. So how does it even apply to trading? How does it even concerns us? It concerns us because those data would make us to like make the right decisions. We want to use this moving average with the volume to decide to know, okay, if this asset going to be going bullish, so that we can have a better entry. So we know, okay, it's not going to be going down more, so it's going to be going up. So now it's still really down. Where should I enter from? Imagine you being able to like take the trade from here. You have a better hand. You cover all this place up to that place, and the price that you'll be entering from will be around here. So that's how volume work. So now the our main focus this evening will be on so there is this which is the moving average, and here it's having like it's having three lines that's or up to like 4 lines that is indicating on the MAs that are here. I think I'll give us a correct uh, example of MA on our trading view. because it's not actually giving us the full data here, right? So we have also Bollinger Bands, which is three moving average. We have this actually is a it's the the mathematical theory that is behind this indicator is the bell curve, right? I know in the house we have people who are really good in mathematics that also know, okay, what's the bell curve. So we have the top one, which is the moving average, and we have another moving average beneath it, right? And then this is actually being calculated how our bell curve is being calculated for those of us who knows, okay, how this really works. So here, how do we use this? So you want to get in when your Bollinger Bands um, down here, and this is 1 hour. We could switch also hour. We can switch from hours to minutes to also daily and weekly. But the best time frame you want to trade with Bollinger Bands is I think hours or 30 minutes in our own cases. So you will be waiting for price anytime price drops. When it's here, it's overbought. Overbought in the sense that it's in a premium price. So it's not really cheap when it's at the top over here. So you want to wait for price to always, when it's here, it's average price, right? You can still get in here and expect market to go up here, but it's not always advisable because if you want to really get more profit, you just wait for the markets to come below always. So, and this always really works. The Bollinger Bands always work. I use it to place trade a lot, manually at times. But when it comes to RoyalQ, also I use it because if I spot a coin which I've set an alarm for on my trading view, I I come here and okay, I can automate this trade and say, okay, since I know that this always work, if even though if we check now, if we want to backtest, you can see also from here, right? Look at from this chart here now, just imagine how many times this price has dropped from here, came up here, came down again, came up here, came down, came up here, and then it always works. So and we can apply this to our trade. So we can just open our trading view. I'll show us later how we can do that. And then you measure and you say, okay, I think this time frame works best for me. So when will I be, if I'm using Bollinger Band as one of the indicators that I will be using to trade, when will I be getting in? Is it in 1 hour time frame? Is it giving me 2% every time it moves from it touches the down average to the upper average? So is it giving me 1%? Is it giving me 3%? So now you decide and you say, okay, yeah, I think this pair, I've studied it a lot, maybe Ave or any other pair, and I see that I can be generating this amount of money from it. So you go to your margin configuration, you input this data, and you open a cycle for it or one shot, depending on you, and you say, okay, now I just put my whole profit ratio at maybe 3%, 1%, depending on you. And from the analysis you do it from your chart, and then you impute it. So our main focus this evening actually will be the MACD, right? We have MACD. I'll turn off the Bollinger Bands, and I'll show us also how the RSI works. So, and then that will give a very good example by going to our settings and showing us how we can impute that because it really works. So the MACD also is a combination of volume, the moving average, and so it's a combination of two indicators actually. So which is always so each trader, right? We have what we call the golden point, which is where depending on the different type of trader, how we call this um we give these indicators names, right? we call it the golden cross because this is generally what most traders call them depending on the strategy they trade, right? So here we can see that this there's a cross here. So between the moving average, we have the yellow line and then we have the blue line, right? And we can see that this moving average, they are crossing each other, right? And from the data we are seeing here, uh, where is this marker now? Okay, let me choose another color. Uh, okay, I think this will be very brighter. So from the data we are seeing here, we can see that we have the 12, 26, and the 9, right? So it's averaging the prices of this asset, which is AVE, right? From the 12 days, 26, and 9. And this data we can change, but like you can remember, I told you that from the RoyalQ platform, you can actually manipulate those data. So we'll go back to TradingView and I'll show you, right? Like I talked about before, so the convention divergence aspect of it is a combination of two indications, right? So if we are having a lot of pump, right, we can see that this market here is pumping over here from the volume aspect, from the example I gave you from the volume, right? So now there will always be this crossover here, right? There will always be this golden cross here. We call it golden cross when the yellow line crosses the blue, right? And then it's an indication that and you will always see this line whenever it's crossing, you will see it go the line pointing upward, right? So which is pointing to you already. You already also be seeing also this volume here, this data here, this volume also will be pumping. It will be like okay, from here it was lean, and later you can see it's pumping a little bit, and you also see after the yellow crossing uh the um the blue line, and they are diverging from each other, right? It will be opening and it will be diverging from it, and the volume also there will be also rising. You will see the volume data indicating to you that there is pump of like money, and the money that we are talking about here is the USD, right? Because this pair here is paired with the USD, right? In this case, and in some cases it might be the euros, it can be the USDC, it can be BUSDT. So here we are reading USDT, and then you will see it will be diverging from each other, and there will also be this cross. So there will be this cross, and for me to make you understand that this works, so you can see anytime this there's a cross, anytime there is a cross, you will always see that it's always pumping. And here you can see clearly that the line was really narrowing and it was facing down, there was no volume. You understand? So there were really much of sellers. Like not that much of sellers, but here actually you can see there was a little bit of down move, but it was not doing that much. So if the blue crosses the yellow one now and it goes down, so now you know. But it doesn't always mean that uh, it doesn't always it's not always represented by blue line and yellow line. You can, but here in the RoyalQ platform, this is their default setting, sorry. So if you go to your if we go to our what's it called trading view, you can change colors, you can manipulate it depending on your preference, you can do all of these things. So now let's go to the trading settings and see how we can apply this to our trading. So we'll say we'll go to advanced settings, which is here. Uh, sorry, which is showing you optional here, right? It's showing you optional, but you click on it and then it will show here, and then you can leave it here and you can say one shot. Now we are talking about the moving average convergence divergence, which is the MACD, right? So the setting, the strategy mode, you want to leave it at cycle or you leave it at one shot. So this place, let's choose, for example, I can hear.
We are not
You're
seeing
not
your
seeing your
screen.
screen now.
Oh, really? Sorry about that. How about now? You can see my screen now?
Now it's okay, please.
Okay,
It's
okay,
okay.
okay. Okay, okay. So for us to, I was saying, for us to apply the MACD strategy to our settings, we come to settings, right? We come here, trading settings, and then we scroll down and we come to advanced settings. So here it will bring it like this. You want to click on the advanced settings, which in the front of it is showing optional. Then you click on it, and here you will see strategy period. You will see first position target condition, which is trigger price condition. You will see trigger price, and then you will see margin call cycle. You will see price range, and then you will see first position drop and cool off period. So here you want to click on here and choose the strategy mode depending on you. So do you want to set your trading to one shot or cycle? So now you can choose from both of these. I believe that we that we are on the call, we know okay, what's the difference between one shot and cycle. So now you want let's make an example with cycle, and we confirm, and then we pick. Here it's very important that you mark here the first position trigger condition, which is the trigger price. So now you click on here, and then since we haven't actually talked about RSI, so I'll show you also how RSI works. So here, like I told you, we are talking about the MACD, the moving average convergence divergence. So we have the 12 day, 26, and the 9 days moving averages that has been imputed into this strategy. So you pick the moving average and then you confirm. And then here it said line trigger. And now you see on top of it, it says the golden cross, right? The golden cross, the strategy that I was telling you before. So you want to always take your trade when the the so you want to take your trade when there is a cross, right? And when is the best time for you to choose your cross from? So from here you have the time frame, which here actually it's 15 minutes. So you want to always place there's this greater than, and then this middle one, and then the less than. So you want to always pick the less than, right? So because when you choose the less than, you are actually buying below, right? You're buying below the prices, and then so you don't want to pick the middle one. You want to pick uh, the less than, and then the price range you can leave just like that, and then you say okay, and then you can start the trade if you wanted to start it. So right now we can go to our trading view. All right. I have my trading view here. No, so we can pick any pair here. Let's pick ADA. So uh, I'm not always used to using my trading view from my phone, but yeah, we'll just use ADA here. So we want to go to our indicators, and then we look for the MACD. I'm not actually sure that. So up to now, is there any question? So we have our MACD here, and we can see actually from ADA, you can see the line here, the blue line actually is crossing downward, and you can see the volume here is printing downward. Right? It's printing, and you can see if we want to backtest this from here, and you can see when the blue line actually crossed downward, cross the in this case, can we call this yellow? Let's just say yellow. So you will see there's a lot of sales in the market, right? And you can see even from here, I think this moving this MACD, I think this one that we picked here, this is not the right MACD, but this is a form of MACD that is having a strategy input in it that's actually indicating for us the right time to buy and all of it. But this is not the right MACD. So actually, we can also use this for the example we want to make, but, but from what you can see here, actually, you can see when there was a cross up over here, there was volume. It pumped upward, right? So when it started to diverge below and there was a crossover here, you can see the market start moving downward. And from our chart also, it will be printing bearish candles. So so far, is there a question? If there is a question, please type in the chat box. Okay, and that was before. I think here we are no longer seeing your screen. I think that was before, right? Is everybody hearing me?
Yeah, we are right. Yeah, we are hearing.
Okay. Uh, so yeah. Now let's talk about. So is the settings for the MACD on our RoyalQ platform, is it clear, or I should go over it again, please? Before I touched the last indicator that we are having, which is the RSI, and how we can apply that. Okay. Someone said we should go over it again. So here we have let's choose another coin, which we can actually, if there is a coin you have in mind that you would just like us to use, even though it's all the same thing, right? So you just want to check. Probably you want to look for a coin that is going down. For example, this one right here, the alpaca, something like that, is down 8%. It's always good that you pick a coin that is down, but it doesn't really matter. You can go for a coin that maybe it's around 1% or something, and you know that this coin it's really great, and it can do like maybe 20% or anything. So the thing that is why the reason why you want to pick a coin that maybe is about to move upward or something, you won't know if they want to dump on you or not, right? If the coin is about to pump or not. So that's why we are using these indicators, right? So as for us to be able to like spot a nice entry. So for example, even this 3% one also is great because what if you are setting it for if you are setting your trading strategy for cycle, you don't want to worry too much about the percentage of it because you know that markets always move in waves, and if it's a good coin and it's a good day for that coin, it might even move 20%, 40%, right? So you want even on 3% is actually good. So you want to also have on your chart, you want to have a volume turned up, the normal volume, right? For you to know, okay, I believe if there will be pump in this market, if I'm seeing enough pump, I can say, okay, if I'm seeing enough volume in the market, okay, that's one thing that I can hold on to. So if also the MACD also is indicating to me and it's about to cross, there's a golden cross in it, then that's the right time to pick that trade. So now we go for let me see, happy. I understand. And from here you can see there has been a cross already, right? And from where the cross occurred, from here, pick color that's sharp. Okay. So from here, you can see there was a golden cross here. From the cross, once it crossed upward, when the yellow crossed the blue line, you can see there was a pump, right? And you can see what the market did from here, in fact. From here, you can see. Okay. And you can see when it pumped, you can see the volume that it did from here. And when the cross occurred, you can see what market did. And if you go to your trading view and measure this pump, if you were able to spot this, whenever this there is this cross here, so and if you say back test, you can always see from here. You can see anytime market crosses, there will always be a pump. You see, just imagine you are able to spot it fast, right? So there's this pump, right? So now you click create, you click margin strategy, you click on it, and then you come downward, you come to trade settings. This is the default settings, right? We know how we can set this our strategy. We can pick a strategy here, right? We pick a strategy, we click on it, and then we come down here. Afterwards, we click on the advanced settings, and here, if we then we choose the strategy type, we want to choose either a cycle or one shot. Before we made example with a cycle, now let's choose one shot. Then you click confirm. Then now you want to say when it's one shot, it actually doesn't bring the rest of those other settings, but it brings the trigger price. The trigger price now, you click on it and you click on MACD, and then you see the golden cross. So you want to pick from here, you can see it like this, and then you save it. And voila, your trade now, whenever prices drop and there is a golden cross, what happened automatically is that your strategy now would always wait Mm. So your strategy now will always wait for whenever the position is whenever there is a golden cross, right? It will only trigger whenever there is a golden cross. So if there is a question, you can ask, please.
Please, if you have any question, you can use the chat box. If you want to speak, you can use the reaction. Raise up your hands and we'll ask you to unmute.
So if there is no question, I'll just yeah, the one shot actually, the difference between one shot and cycle is that when it's one shot, when you set your trade, right, the robot buys your strategy and then gives you your it closes your trade in one instance. Like you just open one trade. Whenever it goes the profit that you set your on your robot to take, maybe 1%, 2%, it closes directly. The Samsung is why are we not using the strategy setting? The strategy setting. Uh, yeah, we are using the strategy settings, of course. I mean, I just use that for an example, right? So the strategy setting is the main thing that we are going to use. What you are intending is this, right?
You can unmute yourself and ask your question more clear, or make your question more clear, rather.
No, no, no. What I intended was that that was the default setting, but just to show you, because you have to use the strategy settings and then you scroll downward and then you click on the advanced settings. So, I'm assuming that you have your settings, your strategy settings, but the default, we know whenever we open any pair, there is always a default setting, but then you pick the strategy settings, then you go to our advanced setting below it, and then you set your MACD on it. Only there's something you can actually unmute and if there's uh, we also have we have another analyst on the house here, but I don't know if he's around. Upper icon.
Okay, I think that will be Miss. Please, if
Yeah, yeah.
if we have any more questions, let's box or raise our hands. So let's just invite Leader Obiam. I believe that Leader Obiam has more lights to throw.
Yeah, definitely. I think the of the VKC, you're welcome. Yeah, the audience, please, sir, if you can give us more input on this strategy, sir. You have
It's not here.
more.
It's not here. I think network threw him out.
He just came
Oh,
in
it's
right now.
here.
Yeah. Good evening, sir. Can you hear us, sir? That will be the network, I think. This evening also we have one of my downliner also who's an analyst who by the name Abdullah Adeshina. And we also have Upper Icon also who's an analyst. So probably before maybe the next Upper Icon, you're welcome. And we also have one of our leaders, also leader Esther DME as well. We have leader George in the house also. Good evening, sir. I think the network actually is not allowing the OBM to hear what we are saying.
Let's take questions while we wait for the OBM. So, the OBM, can you hear us? Do we have any question before we round up? Do we have any question? Are we clear on today's topic? I believe we are still going to do more follow-up, but do we have any question? Hello, leader OBM, can you hear?
There's someone raising up his hand. Joseph.
Joseph, you can mute yourself and ask your question.
Hello, everyone. Good evening.
Good evening.
Yeah, I was actually looking at the chat, and I want to know more about when is the right time for the. My question is actually tools. So when is the right time to actually enter the market? Which trend? When should someone enter the market? What's the right time? And the next one is the over zero and under zero, like they call it. There's a way they taught us in school. So what does that actually mean?
So the aim in the market, right? The aim in the market is for you to always buy low and sell high, right? So in if you are referring, and I believe that you are referring to the MACD that we made example with this evening, which is one of the indicators that we use. So if the aim is to buy low and sell high, and in the MACD is it always indicating to you when there is a downtrend and an uptrend. So now you want to always buy when the market is low and sell when the market is high. So the best time for you to enter a trade is when the market is actually down, because we're actually trading in the spot market. So I believe I answered your question.
Yeah, Samsung, you can go ahead and ask your question.
Also, Leader Samsung says he has a question. And upper icon as well. So you can unmute and ask your question, please.
Leader OBM, please can you
They can't unmute themselves. You know they are not co-hosts. I think they can't unmute. Unless you ask them to unmute or
Samsung is a
something.
code. Oh, okay. It's like network threw him out.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah, let me join. My D auto strategy. I got it.
Your network is bad, Leader OBM.
Yeah, I mean, OBM on the network. Hey.
So there is a question here from our upper icon, right? You said if it's compulsory to use uh, two margin calls and from the margin we use 2% to 3%. No, it's not actually compulsory, right? So the leader who was speaking about the 2% and the 3%, he actually explained on his head, he find out that 2% was working for him. So you as an analyst, because I believe upper icon also, you do analyze, right, the chart. And depending on the pair you are trading, right, it doesn't mean you can see a pair that is from our chart just now, right? When we were on the RoyalQ platform, you can see coin doing 10%, doing 20%. So it's up to you. if you believe that, okay, within 15 minutes, this pair is going to do 30%, is going to do 20%, it's up to you. So also from the video tutorial, there were like 2 margin calls, and I can remember vividly, it was even a double strategy, right? It picked the leader picked uh, two of the margin configuration, and it put I think to buy twice, and also it was like 6 to 7%, right? Drop. So it's up to you. You can actually do it the way you want. You can put 10 margin configuration. You can put 10 margin calls and all of it. So it's up to you.
Yeah, you're referring to the double up strategy, which is most
Yeah.
likely to RoyalQ default
Yeah.
settings. Yeah. That actually reduces floating loss. Okay, leader Samsung, you can mute yourself and ask your question now.
All right. Good evening, everybody. So sincerely, I want to appreciate this wonderful meeting because it's a meeting that is really educative. And me too, as a leader, I've been making research on how these things we go find for our team. So from my own research too, I realized that this MACD, we need to understand how we can go about it with our team. And I appreciate you people and we the leaders that we are really finding solution on now our trade will not go deep. So my question is in 3 ways. Now, when you were explaining, I got your explanation. Now, my number one question is that can we still use the method of the TGS strategy? Maybe you are trying to, look the trade from the back, and you place your hand on the trade, and you reverse the entry, whereby you are seeing the golden cross and less than 0. Can you enter like that? Or when you see a coin, maybe a coin that is dropping or a coin that is pumping, and you are seeing that at that present moment, the market is now demanding for you to enter the golden cross. Is it how the entry will go, or we can still use the TGS strategy style for the MACD, whereby you can trace your analysis towards the back, checking how you can enter the market when the golden cross less than 0 is appearing down, where you can enter the market. And that's my number one question. The number two question from Mr. Tokpe Icon. I want to look at his own view too, where we are watching the video, and some from the video were saying we can use a default setting, that we are not using our strategy setting. That's number two question. Number three question is that from what Mr. Tokpa Icon has said too, from the video we watched, and from the outside training that we attended to, apart from the Nigerian training, about this same MACD, they were telling us that our percentage should not be more than 1.5. So we should range it from 1% to 1.2 to 1.3, because we need to get this thing right so that our team, they can adopt it and they can be making good profit. So please, I want us to check on this MACD very well. If is that we are going to waste time on this evening, no problem. We need to learn it once and for all. People should ask questions on how we can check this thing very well. So that's my question. Thank you and God bless you.
Okay, so yeah, for your first question, right? So I would give the answer speaking from the point of view of a professional trader, an SMC trader. So when it comes to MACD, moving average converging divergence, so and then from the default setting of RoyalQ, that because MACD is actually integrated to this system, so as to be able to like fulfill the aim of MACD in the market. So when you are placing a MACD strategy on your platform, the people or the set of people that you see that give the explanation of what really they are really giving you their point of view based on what is working for them. right? When they say you should go for like 1.5% to 2%, they're actually giving you that because they know that there's higher probability for the trade to close within those ranges, right? So they've backtested it and they've seen that it's worked for them. So you now as a person, you now as a trader wants to now go on your chart and be realistic with yourself and say, now I've busted, and depending on the pair that you are trading, you can impute 1.5%. I can promise you, you can impute 1.5%, 1%, 2% on, for example, Bitcoin, and you will still be waiting. Right? The market doesn't respect any percentage that you are setting. I can promise you that, right? And one of the best strategy in the world that you can trade is SMC. I can promise you that. And we also have top-down analysis that also do work well, which is uh, which is price action, which I've been teaching us here with price action, and there are a whole lot of strategies in the market that you can trade. So when it comes to the question that you are asking, right? If you are placing this on your on your settings, right? It's more of if you are placing a limit order, which means your robot is actually going to wait. It will ignore for a minute the strategy that you have, which is the strategy mode that you have normally. It will then wait for price to retrace to either where you set your strategy. Um, is it lesser than or greater than? So now you want to ask your question. If what you are expecting to do is buy low, do you want to buy greater than or you want to buy lesser than? You want to buy lesser than because the aim is to buy low and sell high. So you are placing a limit order more of. So from your other perspective, I think I answered the both question by giving you the first example I gave you, and then by answering your main first question by telling you that it's your limit order you are placing. So I don't know if I cleared your question. So when it comes to the strategy that we can teach our prospects or our members also on what can work best for them, the MACD or the RSI or combine of all these indicators are not alone can actually determine if we will be having a good trade. Because really, what we are doing with if you see how this robot works, and from the strategy we are trading, which is the DCA, dollar cost average, we are actually marking a range of where we want to be trading from. So if you remember from the previous classes that we did, we talked about channel, right? So it's more of you ranging a channel in a chart, and you say, I want to trade, for example, Bitcoin, and the range I'm targeting right now is the range of 80,000 to 100,000. So now the gap that you are trading now is you're saying, okay, my range will be from 80,000 to 100,000. So now, what will be the best strategy that will be working for me? What indicator will be the one that I think will be best that I will be getting in lower, buying from the discount area, then I will be selling at the premium area. So, leader Samsung, I don't know if I answered your question, sir.
So sorry. So that means what we're trying to say that we can still place our chart on what you just said now. Maybe you want to trade on Bitcoin chart backward from 80,000 to 100,000. So we can still place our MACD indicator. I mean the indicator that is suitable for us. So can we
let me
say
let me give you a clear example of what I'm saying from even
okay? Oh,
from these
okay,
three
good.
settings, right? So after you finish your advanced setting, right? Let's come here and put it on cycle. So now if you want to mark your range, right? You can easily come here. You see there is even a price range. If it was to be Bitcoin, you put your price range here, for example, within that range. But it's not always advisable if you don't do your analysis very well. So you leave this place plan blank so that you are giving your robot now the possibility to even trade below that if price to drop below 80K, because price can do anything. The big guys in the market, the whales in the market, they can really do unexpected.
Okay. Okay. Good. Good.
And that's why we always have our AI settings always on. So as in the AI also, this here, can also be monitoring trades for us. So this is why the RoyalQ platform is actually sweet. So you have manual configuration on it, but we don't only trade. I won't be saying this to the because it's the disadvantage of people who are on the call because we are all trading spot market here.
Okay. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you. Well done. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome, sir. So, if there's any question, so if there is not, I believe I said everything. Under the advanced settings, is there no need to input the price range when applying MACD? So you can actually input the price range if you want, right? Depending on the pair you are trading. So if you already have a price range and you know the function, you know what it means, you can impute it. So the price range now, you can target a price range in your chart. So if you watched our previous video, you will see where we talked about channel. So now you want to channel your trade and say, okay, this is the range I'm targeting. So now whenever the trade is trading below that, maybe I don't want to go into it. So now you know the range you are targeting. And then the bot knows now, okay, now you say, okay, if I'm using Bollinger Bands, I already know that there's an moving average, there's a bear curve in my chart, right? Which is imputing the Bollinger Band has a moving average above and below. So the higher range, the higher days and the lower days beneath. If you are using MACD, there is there's a golden cross plus the divergence among it, convergence divergence, and you say, okay, now I use the Bollinger Band, but then the range that you are marking now is okay from the higher perspective to the lower perspective range of price that you are trading from. So, Mr. Berry, I believe I answered your question. If
Good evening.
there is no other,
Hello,
yeah,
good
yeah,
evening.
yeah. Good evening.
Yeah, thank you, Leader Biola. I just
Mm.
have 2 or 3 things to input to what you just teach us, and we
All right,
really
sir.
appreciate it. Thank you so much.
You're
Now,
welcome, ma.
the beauty behind MACD, like I've studied throughout this week, is to enter the market when the market is low, when it is less than a zero, when it is low, when it is less than a zero, just to enter the market when the price is low. That is the main reason for that less than a zero. It's just to enter the market. Now, when you enter the market with MACD, the video we watched, the leader is telling us that we should stick to the default setting because of the deep we are experiencing now. When you say you've entered low, you will discover that in the next 1 week, there'll still be another low. So he's saying, okay, let's stick to RoyalQ default settings so that we will not be experiencing floating losses. That's just what he's trying to encourage us to do in that aspect. And then if we use MACD to enter the trade or the asset we want to enter, our own settings, we have our own setting that we've set. Our own setting the RoyalQ will now pick our own settings to, using it to buy low and sell high for us. But the leader is saying that we should use the default setting because we are experiencing a lot of floating losses and we don't want to experience it anymore. Do you understand what I'm saying? Are you getting
Yeah,
me?
yes, ma. Yes, ma.
Yes. Then the
Yes, ma.
1%, 2% is saying if you take 1%, 2-3 times, or 1-2%, 2-3 times in a day, it is better than setting 5% and be in deep for a week or 1 month. So it's encouraging us like let's take our 1%, 1.5%, 1.3% and get out of the market instead of us being in the deep for months, for weeks. That's what this MACD and the whole concept is all about. That's just my input.
Thank you very much, Ma.
Thank you.
Thanks very much.
Thank you.
So yeah, if there is any other question, so I don't know, Leader Oshen, you want?
I don't think there's any other question because of time. Also, I understand that we cannot understand this just immediately, so we'll definitely be doing more Zoom, more follow-up Zoom on this so that we'll understand better, because Samson, you say if you want to sleep here today, it's not by sleeping here. You know, it's when you want to learn, you learn small, you take break, you know. The small one you learn, you use it, you put it into practice, and it's just not by learning and hearing everything. You have to also practice what works for you.
Yeah, and another
And
thing
all
is
that.
because
What's your own strategy? Yeah.
no, I was about to say something, but I'm always like, because me at times I'm always even used to most of, I'm not that used to 1%, 2%, but it's very normal for us if we're trading spot.
Yeah. You have to sell it to especially the people. There are some people that are not patient. There are some people that are just starting. So I think that 1% will be okay for them. There are some people that can wait for a trade, no matter how long, to hit 20%, 30%. They can wait no matter how long. Their patience level is too high, but there are some, they don't have that kind of patience. So we will suggest that those ones, you just take you take your small percent, you leave, you come, you set it again, you take, and then you leave. So we'll be doing like follow-ups on this particular topic so that we can practice and master it. Before, RoyalQ didn't have all these indicators, but they are introducing it so that I believe that the app on its own, can serve a whole lot of purpose. So we'll be doing a follow-up on that so that we'll know, we'll master a particular strategy that works. That's why they tell you that learning is, you cannot say you know it all, because you see the strategy that we were using before, we keep getting better at, this strategy. We keep changing, we keep looking for better ways to actually win in the market. So you have to also follow up the trend. You can't say, oh, because I know TGS, that's it. More better ways are coming. That's why it's good to attend Zoom meetings so that you'll be following the trend. Thank you so much, Leader Abiola. Thank you so much, Leader Esther, for the input. Woman, maybe you can come on board and share yours too with us, so that we'll keep learning and mastering this particular MACD. And to every leader in the house, thank you so much, all the leaders, and to everyone that joined today to get the knowledge, to want to be better at trading. The sky is not just our limit, the sky is our takeoff. Thank you. We'll see us tomorrow. Tomorrow we have Zoom on network marketing series by, I believe tomorrow is Saturday, yeah. By 4 p.m. we have our Zoom on network marketing. Keep practicing. It's not enough for you to come to Zoom and listen. Keep practicing. Keep also trying to get your own, strategy. What works for you? What is best for you? So thank you so much, everybody. Good night.
There's a message from leader OBM. He wanted to send a voice note.
He said on the group, he's gonna do that.
Okay.
Yeah, I've seen it. He has a bad network, so we have to go now. I believe that on our next Zoom, he will be available to share more insights with us. Thank you so much. You all are amazing. Thank you, Leader Abiola. And bye, everyone. See you tomorrow, 4 p.m. tomorrow. And also on Sunday, make sure you invite your prospect on Sunday. On Sunday, too, we have prospect meeting by Leader Samson, 4 p.m. But tomorrow, we are doing network marketing series. So come and learn how to, how to prospect this amazing business to your people. I keep saying, if you do not show people a good business, they will definitely do a bad business. That one is definitely for sure. A friend of mine just realized that, he didn't tell his friend about RoyalQ, and he just realized that his friend has gone to put $500 in a very hot Ponzi scheme. I'm sure all of us know the name of the Ponzi scheme. It is very hot right now, but that's it. So please share this amazing business to your people. If you feel like you're not sharing this, they will do a bad business. So if you don't share a good business with them, and they will lose money and they will blame you.
I
So why
pity
did you
them.
tell me?
I pity them. Somebody came yesterday that he put money November. He don't make
A whole,
$3,000.
a
After
whole
40 days, he won't buy
$500. So
motor. May God help her.
a whole
May God help her.
$500. All right, now good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night. Good night, everyone.